Al Jazeera has been reporting on child soldiers operating in Yemen since the beginning of that country's civil war 4 years ago. And our recent exclusive video shows evidence of them being recruited by Saudi Arabia. Desperately poor, underage fighters lured by promises of money to defend the Saudi border against Houthi rebels.
I've never used a weapon, not a gun or a rifle. We went because they told us we'd be working in a kitchen and making 3,000 Saudi riyals.
And now, researchers from the U.S. State Department have reached a similar conclusion. Reuters reports the researchers found evidence of Saudi Arabia trafficking child soldiers from Sudan. But Secretary of State Mike Pompeo has refused to add Saudi Arabia to a list of countries that recruit child soldiers. The list is part of a global human trafficking report that the U.S. government compiles annually.
Donald Trump has decided to marry the United States to Saudi Arabia. So Saudi Arabia can do no wrong, which includes assassinating and then melting or chopping into pieces a journalist inside a Saudi consulate and employing large numbers of child soldiers.
President Trump has leaned heavily on Saudi Arabia as an economic and military ally, refusing to condemn the kingdom for the murder of U.S.-based journalist Jamal Khashoggi. The State Department did not respond to questions about Saudi Arabia recruiting child soldiers, but said in a statement the United States condemns the unlawful recruitment and use of child soldiers. We place great importance on ending the practice wherever it occurs. Some members of Congress from both parties have moved to block $8 million in U.S. arms sales to Saudi Arabia.
What's happening in Yemen is a humanitarian disaster that has been exacerbated by the very weapons we have been giving the Saudis in order to fight this conflict in Yemen, and has created untold humanitarian disaster.
Human Rights Watch says thousands of civilians have been killed in Yemen, and 14 million people are at risk of starvation and death. There's no accounting of how many deaths were that of child soldiers, with the U.S. State Department now refusing to acknowledge Saudi Arabia's role in their fate. Heidi Zhou-Castro, Al Jazeera, Washington.